Hi everyone, welcome to our next edition of Mediabistro's Career Lunch Google Plus Hangout. Joining us today is of course Vicky Salemi, the editor of Media Jobs Daily and our resident career expert. And I'm Mona Zhang, editor of Social Times, and I'll be filling in for Valerie today. So our guest today is Sarah Burns, who is a health and fitness writer and editor. She has experience working for big name glossies like Prevention and Glamour, and also on the digital side of things like iVillage and About.com. And so just a note to our viewers, feel free to ask questions through the app or through social media with the hashtag MBHangouts. So Sarah, why don't you tell everyone a bit more about what you do?
Sure, absolutely. Well, after spending about 13 years in the trenches as a health director and a health editor at a lot of women's magazines, I've been a staffer at the publications you mentioned and then several others and some websites as well. I decided to kind of take a dip into the freelance world and do some writing with that. And so currently I'm an editorial consultant working with magazines like Women's Day and some other glossies as well, and helping them shape their health coverage and writing freelance articles in my free time.
Thanks. So I know, Vicky, you have some questions for Sarah, so why don't you take it away?
I do. We'll just jump right in. Hello, Sarah. In order for freelance writers and editors to be successful, do you think they should have a niche, or is it better to be a generalist with broad subjects to cover?
I think in general, it's good to be a specialist. I know as an editor, when I used to select writers, it was always good to find editors who had a specific forte, and so that's kind of my thing. I have a specialization in health, but in addition to that, there are certain things that I'm very enthusiastic about and have a large knowledge base in, such as nutrition, or real person health stories, and so I'm always very upfront about that and forthright, and look for opportunities where I could do that. So I think at the end of the day, it's better to be an expert and a specialist and give quality content for a few subjects than try to be a generalist and maybe be mediocre in a dozen different ones.
Now that makes sense. Then how do you juggle your variety of clients? Do you think it's a freelancer's dream to have multiple first-class clients, but in a way it's like a catch-22. Be careful what you wish for, because you might be juggling several editors with different needs, different voices, different rates, different contracts. How do you manage all of the different clients?
Well, for me, it really helps for me to make lots of lists. I have an Excel spreadsheet on my computer where I literally, as soon as I get an assignment, I'll type in, this is the assigning editor, this is the magazine, this is the fee, this is the contract, and really just keep myself organized that way. And then just making lists. Every single week I have, a list that I'll make for each assignment, and, I'll write down, okay, I'm going to interview, source A this week, source B next week, and really adhere to it. Because the thing about being a freelance writer is oftentimes you're working alone, so you really need that sense of discipline. You really need that sense of organization.
It's so true. It's funny, my next question was going to be, how do you stay organized? I know for me it's Excel, and old school like you, to-do lists. Other people use apps, so it's interesting to hear how different people stay organized to stay on top of those deadlines. And I'm going to read a portion of your LinkedIn profile because I think it's so critical, and it's important to hear how you market yourself. And it basically says, need a well-reported health piece with a creative study-backed angle? How about a sticky slideshow chocked with solid SEO? I'm your gal. I love that. Can you talk a little bit about how important that was to have that statement on your profile in terms of not only getting noticed but really defining your strengths?
I think freelance writing, publishing in general, I think, as we all know, is highly competitive, and people who are shy and a little less out there with kind of tooting their own horn, it can go to their detriment. So you shouldn't be afraid to kind of publicize what you do and what you do best. And that's with me, that's what I'm all about. It's all about putting out there, this is what I do well, this is my experience, and being very forthright about it.
Excellent. And what do you say to people who aren't forthright about it, and maybe their social media profiles are dormant, or what if they're a shy freelancer and they're not comfortable with selling and marketing themselves?
You know what, then there are other ways to do that. Create a website, get some business cards. I think with people who are shy, it's all about networking. And I used to be a shy person myself when I first entered the industry, and I really had to push myself. So it's all about socializing, networking, getting to know people, because at the end of the day, in publishing, a lot of it is who word of mouth, assignments, jobs, all the way down the line.
Which actually brings me to my next question, because it sounds like you were on staff and then you chose to become your own consultant and work freelance. Do you think it helps for freelancers to have been on staff previously before going solo?
Absolutely. I think, being a magazine staffer is a very gratifying experience in the sense that you get to intimately understand what happens after freelancers turn the copy in. So you're part of that editing process, you're part of that closing process, and so you learn what happens when you turn the piece in. And to be a writer on the other side, after being an editor, I know, okay, I'm going to submit my copy, and I know what's going to happen after that. So let me try to make it as easy on the editor as I possibly can.
Right. And then any tips for editors on staff looking to make the leap into freelancing?
I would say, first off, if that's your desire, you definitely want to let everyone that you work with professionally know that's your desire, because as we were talking about before, it's all about who you know, and a lot of it's word of mouth. So, if you want to be a staffer, let everybody that you know, all your editors know, hey, I'm looking for a staff job. Right. And if you do a great job on copy, a lot of times you'll be considered.
Excellent. And then regarding your health and fitness reporting class that you teach, what's one or two takeaways that you want every student to learn when they finish your class?
I think for me, it's all about how to learn how to come up with a great innovative health idea and how to execute that in a way that's really fun and gratifying. It's hard to make health copy sexy, shall we say, and so that's really what we're striving for with this class, is really how to make it jazzy, fun, and something new.
Excellent. And then my last question, any tips for freelancers looking to jump in a full-time job? It sounds like, of course, letting everyone in your network know, but maybe transitioning into their flexible lifestyle or staying top of deadlines or multiple clients?
Yeah, freelancers, definitely, staying on top of the clients is a good thing. If you're on staff and you're thinking about making the leap into freelance writing, really network. When you ultimately leave that staff job, you want to have people as a cushion, and it's all about who you know. So you want to have that social network built in, that professional network built in, so you have a few clients to pitch already.
Excellent. And is there anything we didn't cover that you want our viewers to know?
Well, that I suggest everybody, sign up for the class, definitely. Health is a growing field, and it's, becoming more popular every day, a la Dr. Oz's magazine. So get on board, learn how to write health and fitness copy. It's definitely a growing market and something that can be very gratifying, both professionally and personally.
Great. Excellent. Mona, back to you.
Thank you both so much. Now, just for our viewers, the Hangout, I wanted to share that, so for Sarah's health and fitness reporting class, which starts on June 12th, you guys can get $25 off with the code FIT25. So take a moment to jot that down. And yes, so thank you to all our viewers. That concludes this episode of Career Lunch. Tune in next time on July 23rd at 1 p.m. for the next edition. We will have Kim Taylor, who is a freelance copywriter for a variety of agencies and brands. So thank you again, Vicki and Sarah, for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you.